Alright, so I have probably my nicest firearms purchase to date, and I'm really excited about it, really excited to share it with you guys. Before all that, my name is Josh, this is Fledgling Tactical, and here to talk about my journey to proficiency and to talk about firearms as a whole to anybody willing to listen. Let's get right into the video. So today on the channel, I wanted to try something that I have not yet tried before, so I am very interested in doing firearms reviews. So let me know how I do in the comments down below. Give me all the feedback, the positive, the negatives. Help me get better so that I can provide better content for you guys. We're talking today about a Dan Wesson firearm, specifically the Dan Wesson DWX Compact. Now on the other side of the case, the soft case that it comes with is going to be the DWX logo. So I'm really excited. I got this for a good price, at least in my opinion, and it comes with two Dan Wesson magazines. I did buy this firearm used, so it does have some wear and tear around the base plates of the magazines that it comes with. These are DWX branded base plates, and then I believe that the magazines themselves are going to be CZ mags. If you didn't know, Dan Wesson is owned by CZ USA, and these are CZ75 compact magazines with Dan Wesson base plates, and definitely want to be careful when you're getting new magazines for the Dan Wesson DWX Compact, because it does get a little complicated. The full size takes completely different magazines than the compact version, and so I would say if you're going to get magazines for the compact, go with the CZ75 compact magazines and you should be good to go. So this firearm does hold 15 rounds of 9mm. So as you can see on the side of the magazine itself, you see 5, 10, and 15 here on the side windows so that you can see how many rounds you've loaded into this magazine. These magazines are made of metal, which is great. I've had no issues even when they drop to the floor, no issues whatsoever. And this is going to be the firearm in all of its glory. As you can tell, no magazine and no bullets in the chamber. Beautiful, beautiful handgun. I personally really appreciate that the DWX branding is pretty small, pretty unnoticeable in terms of how this gun is branded. It is a beautiful, beautiful firearm. Looks exactly like a 1911, but it is a hybrid between a 1911, the American classic, and a CZ75, which just so happens to be my first ever pistol. So this specific version has a full pick rail for any lights, lasers, or any accessories that you would want to add to your firearm. I usually keep it completely blank. That's an aesthetic choice for me personally. This is mostly a range gun for me. It has front slide serrations, back slide serrations. Mine is optics cut. The adapter plates are available online, and I have not decided yet whether I want to add a optic to it or if I'm just going to keep it iron sights, because it does have front night sight, which is really, really nice. This is a single action only firearm, and you can tell that it is cocked back when the hammer is fully back. And I really, really love this trigger. This is a flat face kind of K style trigger, and it is absolutely buttery smooth to rack. And this trigger is about 3.5 pounds if I'm not mistaken. And here's the trigger pull, and then the reset. Just really, really nice, really crisp. I'm used to shooting Glocks and other CZ pistols. This one is probably the best trigger I've owned so far. I really appreciate that this firearm does not have a grip safety. Whenever I shoot any of my friends' other 2011 style pistols, that grip safety always, it makes me feel weirded out because there is like a little moving part in the webbing of my hand, and if I don't, I feel like if I don't grip it hard enough, I mean, it is a little bit of a unnecessary worry, because if you grip your gun the proper way, then it shouldn't be a problem. But the fact that this doesn't have one is honestly my preferred style. As you can see, it has these grips on the side that kind of have this almost frag grenade looking texture, which is absolutely amazing. These can be swapped out for any other CZP01 grip, and has a grip at the back. This swell, as you can see, there's a little bit of an angle. This swell in the back fills my hand perfectly, has grip texture on the back and the front of the grip. I do really quickly want to touch on the actual slide release button. It feels absolutely incredible, and this texture feels great. As you can see, it actually sticks out from the firearm quite a bit, so this has, it's unmistakable when you are touching it. So let's go ahead and throw in an empty magazine. And Just see how much that sticks out. And then when you hit it, slides out like butter. The slide release is positioned right here, and contrary to a lot of other 1911 style platforms, when it is locked open, sometimes you're unable to actually reach the slide release, but for this firearm and my grip, I can absolutely reach it with my thumb. And it feels absolutely wonderful. The texture is perfect on this little ledge, and I just really, really like the entire feel of this gun. I forgot to mention that the frame is actually aluminum, so it is a little bit of a heavier gun. I don't know if I'd use this necessarily as a concealed carry weapon, but feels really, really good in the hand, and the recoil impulse when it is fired is absolutely incredible. The slide moves so beautifully and is just so easy to rack. This firearm has a 4-inch bull barrel, as you can see from the front here. It kind of recedes back into the firearm itself. I've had zero issues. I've had no malfunctions while firing this gun using different types, different grains of ammunition. It has just run absolutely perfectly for me. Now, really quickly going over the thumb safety, it is very nice, very ergonomic, tactile, audible. Feels great and just fits where my thumb sits wonderfully. It does have space for you to throw it onto the other side if you are a left-handed shooter, but for those of you who are fans of thumb safeties, this one works absolutely perfectly. Now, as far as shooting experience with this firearm, I have brought it to the range literally once and put about 150 rounds through this firearm. I've had zero malfunctions, and it feels absolutely amazing. I would liken it to like the feel of a staccato because it is also kind of retail price around the price of the staccato as well, but this is my first foray into like a nicer quote-unquote Gucci gun, and I really appreciate this one. It takes down, like I mentioned earlier, just like a CZ75, which I'm much more familiar with than taking apart a 1911, but 150 rounds, zero malfunctions, and again, I bought this firearm used. I have no idea how many rounds that the previous owner has put through it, but on the internals, it looks very clean, and I've still had zero malfunctions. So I think that both with its track record, I mean, Dan Wesson being a very reputable company, while also backed by CZ USA, I have the utmost confidence that this firearm will hold up over time. As for holster compatibility, this firearm thankfully fits in a holster that I already had. Prior to this, I had a CZ-P01, and it works very well with my CZ-P01 holster. I don't know for certain if it'll work with every P01 holster, but thankfully it works for mine. So with all that being said, this firearm has treated me extremely well. This is, again, my first foray into like the nicer upper echelons type of pistols, but this, seriously, the fit and finish is wonderful. That slide feels nice and buttery. The trigger, super crisp, really light, and honestly, I totally think it's worth the retail price that they are charging. If I had to rate this firearm out of 10, I would say it's a very solid 9.5. And the only thing that is keeping it from that perfect 10 out of 10 status is going to be the little bit of confusion over magazine compatibility, because the full-size version of the DWX takes completely different magazines than the compact version. The specifics of the magazine compatibility drags it down just a touch for me, but so far so good with this firearm. I definitely want to know what you guys think in the comments down below, so definitely voice your opinion down there. Let's have a conversation. I appreciate your guys' time, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Later.